I watched what happened when the kids from Parkland marched up to, and I met with them, and then they went off to up on the hill when I was vice president. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
We choose truth over facts.
First thing I would do is make sure we pass the Violence Against Women Act reauthorization, which I wrote. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman, and so we have to just change the culture. Period. And keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. It will be a big... No, I really mean it.
Well, this week I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. and let me tell you, because...
I come out of the black community in terms of my support. If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is...
That's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first African-American elected. And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay? That's all I've really got to say to you. I got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. I'm looking at the clock down here. Yes, and by the way, it's one of the reasons, the first thing I would do is make sure we pass the Violence Against Women Act reauthorization, which I wrote. The fact I didn't write the reauthorization, I wrote the original act. The fact is that what happens now is that we, in fact, have to fundamentally change the culture of how women are treated. That's why, as vice president, when I asked the president I could start the movement on the college campuses to say it's on us. It's everyone's responsibility. We do not spend nearly enough time dealing with. I was stunned when I did a virtual town meeting that told me 30,000 people were on the call, young people between 15 and 25, and found out. I said, "What do you need? What do you need to make you safer on college campuses and in your schools?" You know what they said? Get men involved. Engage the rest of the community. And that's when we started this movement on the college campuses to fundamentally change the culture. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. It will be a big... No, I really mean it. It's a gigantic issue. And we have to.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
You got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright.
It's a large, very identifiable Somali community. I might add, if you ever come to the train station with me, you'll notice that I have great relationships with them because there's an awful lot who are driving cabs. I climbed down a ravine, carried this guy up on his back under fire, and the general wanted me to pin the silver star on him. I got up there and stand and said, "God's truth, my word is a Biden." He stood at attention. I went to pin him. I said, "Sir, I don't want the damn thing. Do not pin it on me, sir. Please, sir. Do not do that." He died.
Last week, the Washington Post reported that Biden was conflating facts from 3 separate stories when he told an anecdote about an Afghanistan war hero. Here's Biden in his own words.
The details are irrelevant in terms of decision-making if, in fact, I forget that it was Rodriguez. Of all the times I've been in and out of Afghanistan and Iraq and Bosnia and Kosovo as much as anybody except maybe my deceased friend John McCain and maybe Lindsey Graham. And so the fact that I would forget that it was Rodriguez who was pinning, I believe this is the case, pinning a Bronze Star on a young man, it's irrelevant to the point. Is equally as deeply held by President. Stop moving what's this thing called?
Why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
I was a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
I'm Jill Biden's husband, and I work for Cedric Richmond.
Not only have loved their dads, their grandpops, they always like them, and that's the great thing. Thank you, baby.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Let him go. The television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. I'm beginning to see why your wife left you. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up. He said, "You walk out with that chain." And you walk to the car and say, "You may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head." If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. Thank you very much.